Video 2. This is still within the introduction chapter, but I think it's definitely something that provides some good background before you go into the 10 different examples that they provide for us. And it really is talking about what is theory and then the building blocks of theory. And with what is theory, there are several definitions that are out there, but the one that the editors favor is Silver's conceptualization of theory, which is to understand theory and its relationship to the research process that it takes effort. To understand theory is to travel into someone else's mind and become able to perceive reality as that person actually does. It's to experience a shift in one's mental structure and discover a different way of thinking. It's also to feel some wonder that one never saw before what now seems to have been obvious all along. And then one needs to stretch one's mind to reach the theorist's meaning. Well, with the building blocks of theories, when you think about theory, you have to think about the components of theory. And with the components of theory, it's the relationship of concepts, constructs, and propositions to theory. And as you move from concepts to the level of theory, there is also a movement from the concrete experiences to a level of abstract description. And with that thinking, in the book, there's a really good little chart that gives you the building blocks of theory and showing sensation or showing concrete at the bottom level, and recognizing that the very concrete level of sensations and experience is where it begins. And then from the concrete, then you move up the next level and you've got concepts. And these are the words that are assigned to the event or to the experience at hand. And often these concepts, they'll cluster, or not often, they actually do when you're working through theory, but the concepts cluster and form a higher order unit of thought, and this is known as a construct. Well, from the next level up, after you've got your cluster of concepts into your construct, then you've got propositions, which are expressions of relationships among several constructs. And it's the relationship of propositions that actually constitute a theory. So you go from very concrete and you start exploring it and researching it, and you begin assigning words to the events or the experiences, and it's the groupings of the words and a grouping of the concepts that become your construct in building and proposing your theory. So again, what is theory? The building blocks of theory, and then you look at what constitutes a good and useful theory. You saw on the Glog, the front page of the Glog, where Brandy had listed what actually constitutes good and useful theory. And they tell us that a theory should provide a simple explanation of the observed relations relevant to a phenomenon. It should be consistent with both the observed relations and an already established body of knowledge. It's considered a tentative explanation and should provide means for verification and revision. It should stimulate further research in areas that need investigation. And it should be simple, testable, novel, supportive of other theories, internally consistent, and predictive. And the following video will go more into types of theory and methodology.